as you are part of the industry,
right.
You know what is happening,
right.
And you know what should be happening.
Right.
What's your take on the new policy? This new policy that was actually approved by the Federal Executive Council last week on the automobile industry.
I would start from a joke point of view, but my take is very, very strong on the fact that we know, as a matter of fact, that differentiation on the tariff regime is the way to go in ensuring that local industry get protection. But when such a policy is put in place and the governance structure around the environment does not allow a follow-through, you will have a problem. It's not the first time. You cannot. You can imagine if you cannot set up a drugstore if you are not a pharmacist or you don't have a pharmacist recognized there. But any other person just come to this industry, for example, in our industry, they have some few cash. They go out of the country, bring all sorts of cars into the country. Not necessarily, they are not certified, for example. They don't know issue of warranty, safety, some critical issues that have to do with vehicles. They just bring their vehicle, they clear the front of their house.
These vehicles we're talking about, are they used
both
vehicles?
Used and some new one, because of the commercial, the environment allows you, it's a free enterprise environment, allows you to bring anything. You're not restricted. And so when you come in, you bring in anything. The issue now is that the tariff element is an arithmetical calculation of your base figure. There are two major components that affect pricing: the exchange rate and the tariff structure. The tariff structure will go into the custom duty, the surcharge, and all other charges which are based on your FOB. So when somebody declare a vehicle, maybe $5,000, and I, as a company that is working under the right governance structure, bringing a vehicle with the same pricing of $25,000, a 50% tariff structure will land us at different costing. Therefore, there is that element, that our ability to control to follow through, ensuring that everybody comply. We're not averse to a change in tariff regime for the development of a country. What is important is that everybody that is doing in business practice is doing the right thing and ensuring that there's an equal level playing field. South Africa, for example, when they closed the border, there was a maintenance tariff to 105%. But you cannot bring in any pain to South Africa, whether used or unused, anything, without going through the right structure. People are coming. Also, borders are porous. We cannot even align and account for all those who are involved in car importation. Everybody who has just traveled out of this country is a car dealer.
Okay, now let me take you up on another issue. Apart from the fact that there's been an increase on tariff on imported cars, we have other issues that have come up in terms of what this policy is supposed to be looking at. Right. Now, the fundamentals required to ensure the success of this policy, are they in place? Yeah,
I think that's very key. With the cross of the policy is very, very key. I think we know that automobile industry is a highly employability industry as it stands. What you see in telecom is a child's play. When you have a viable automobile industry, the employment level will just go into the regions of thousands of millions of people in job creation, also in wealth creation. So it is not in place. If you have seen the way an assembly plant work, a factory in South Africa, for example, the employability level is very high. And I think that for government, that is very key. Also key, ensuring that we now have ability to integrate our comparative advantage to our competitive advantage. The country has enough iron and steel, iron ore, which could translate from there to steel, with all the mills rolling them into flat sheets. We have rubber that we can do tires, and we can go up to the level of ensuring some components that have tire elements. We've been doing glass in Badon. We have done batteries in this country, and we've also been involved in, if the petrochemical plants are gone to the right stage, all the issue about thermoset will be done. So which means substantially we can meet to the 50 to 70% of the major what we call the heavy components of car in the country.
What about the technology? You've not spoken about technology.
The technology issues, there's technology diffusion. There's one between technology transfer, technology accumulation, and technology diffusion. As of today, it is possible to acquire the technology. And the other component of it is that the relevant skills and semi-skills component of it is also the issue. It's also missing because there is a divergence between the current academic structure of technicians training, the people who have requisite skill to perform in the industry, and the unskilled level. And these are issues you just can't find in one day. So what we are worried about is at what point in time you sink an industry and have a total shutdown. I do understand the policy is not to close down the borders and ensuring that vehicles come in, but the policy is to ensure that we get at the right level of production activity. Will that revive the existing industry or the already supposed existing plants that are moribund? Or how long will it take investors to come in? What are the plans to allow the component industry to take off again, or new component industry to come on stream, so that we can get this thing into a vibrant level? If you imagine, take for example the iron and steel. If the iron and steel was up to speed, we will not be at this stage of our discussion. All
right, but Oseme, let me cut you there. You talked about technological transfer and technological diffusion. Now, we have a lot of foreign companies who have come in, as in car makers who have come into the economy, and they're doing so well. But we also know that there's been a lot of talk about ensuring that there's technology transfer within the foreign investors and the local manufacturers. Has that been happening?
Yeah, one would need to read the content of the policy very well to know whether that answers can be.
No, but before the policy actually came out, we actually had another policy that we were working with.
Yeah, we were working on that. That policy had not been. There has not been. I said there's no follow through. That's our fear as members of the organized private sector. That okay, you have a policy that has been. You know, the issue of tariff regime is not the first time. Where there was tariff differentials for tire, for example. Currently, what we call the Indian tigers have taken over the tire business. They bring us all the tires from all parts of the world. Dunlop, as you see today, is down. They are probably, I'm sorry to say, one is being blasphemous. It's almost turning into a church. So also, if you see the assembly plants, the Michelin plant, the policy in place is to encourage local manufacturing through technological diffusion or transfer. It's now the investment structure, access to fund to set up the right factory and ensure that those components are not just used in our environment here, they're used in the industry worldwide. I mean, that's calls for the issue about Standard Organization of Nigeria, their level of participation, which I'm sure with the current DG is doing enormous work in terms of ensuring that the right standards of, even for spare parts, for example, are coming. It's possible too, when you look at the used vehicle, that there should be some, I mean, documentations in that sector is something that you cannot even discuss on this program. If you look at the documentation there, you will run out of yourself. But definitely, if the policy in place is to ensure that those who are in the industry invest or do some reinvestment in ensuring that the industry gets back to speed, there's a need for a policy environment to ensure that the policy environment take off the right way. Our fear is that the policy environment should take a sync, probably that's the right technical word, to sync with our current reality and come back to ensure that the industry get revived the right way. Through tariff differential structure, low capital, low interest rate capital to set up new component companies, and giving directives as to what kind of vehicles will be appropriate for our environment.